Day 11. Joseph's brothers. Genesis 41 to 46. Whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. In this the love of God was made manifest among us, that God sent his own...
It says among us.
Made known among us. Among us.
And among us, his body.
No, not the game. I'll start that again. Whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. In this, the love of God was made manifest or made known among us, that God sent his only Son into the world so that we might live through him. 1 John 4, 7, 9. Pharaoh made Joseph the leader in charge of saving food in Egypt during the 7 good years. Joseph stored up so much grain that it could not be measured. During that time, Joseph got married and he had 2 sons.
Where are you up to?
I'm up to here. Then the 7 years of famine came. The famine was bad everywhere, not just in Egypt. Joseph's brothers and his father, Jacob, didn't have enough food for their families. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to get food, but he kept his youngest son, Benjamin, at home. Joseph saw his brothers come to buy food, but they didn't recognize him.
Benjamin is the same name as
Same
Benjamin.
name.
So 2 Benjamins.
Then they bowed down.
2 Isbaks.
Then they bowed down to Joseph, just like in his dream from long ago. Joseph
Where are you up to?
Joseph had every reason to be angry with his brothers. Why would he be angry with them? Well, what did they do?
Put him in jail?
They sold him to be a slave, eh?
No, first they put him in a well and then...
Yeah, they took his coat and everything. He had every reason to be angry with them. Because of them, he had suffered as a slave and as a prisoner. When his brothers came to Egypt, Joseph pretended his brothers were spies and put them in prison. 3 days later, Joseph released all his brothers but one, Simeon. He gave them food for their families and told them to come back to Egypt with their youngest brother. Otherwise, Simeon would stay in prison. Joseph's brothers returned with Benjamin, and Joseph cried at the sight of his little brother. Then Joseph told them who he really was. Joseph forgave his brothers for all the evil they had done. He gave them food and a place to live. He loved them. Later, Joseph told his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today." Genesis 50, verse 20.
Now where are you up to?
God had a good purpose even for the bad things that happened to Joseph. Why do you think Joseph forgave and rescued his brothers, even though they had done bad things? Because he trusted in God. So he knew he could forgive them because God had looked after him no matter what. Have you ever forgiven someone?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Who?
Everybody?
Each other all the time, hey? Brothers and sisters have to forgive each other all the time, just like Joseph forgave his brothers.